Belt Conference football is on ESPN. It's the league opener for the App State Mountaineers and the Southern Miss Golden Eagles right here inside Roberts Stadium here in Hattiesburg, a stadium better well known as The Rock. We welcome you inside our broadcast booth. I'm Jason Baker alongside my color analyst Austin Davis. And AD, it's two teams that I think are going to learn a lot about themselves in here tonight.
Yeah, I think it starts with App State's defense. They come in the night's game as the 5th-ranked rush defense in the country. Now, with that being said, competition-wise, they played Charlotte, they played Lindenwood, so still a lot of question marks on whether they can carry that from those first two games into the conference play.
And for the Southern Miss Golden Eagles, it's a rushing offense that is averaging 120 yards on the ground. That's not anemic, but they need more from it.
No, and they want more out of that run game. A key component to this offense is the wide receiver screen, so they're going to throw the ball on the perimeter a lot to get those hidden yardage. But Jeffrey Pittman has got to get going for this offense.
Boy, we're fixing to find out as Southern Miss has won the toss. They have deferred that decision. The App State Mountaineers will put their kick return unit out on the field. This is some of the keys to the game, Austin, for App State. They want to get started fast. They couldn't get any faster of a start than a week ago. 72-yard bomb to Donald Stroman to begin.
Yeah, and if you look at just their quarterback, A.J. Swan, this is a quarterback that wants to play in rhythm, and when he's able to do that, he's very dangerous. They are over 500 yards a game. For Southern Miss, again, we talked about it, establish the run, get stops in the red zone, and as always, you got to win turnover battle.
They have been one of the better teams in turnover margin in the entire country, 26th in the FBS, first in the Sun Belt Conference. It's going to be Jaden Barnes back to receive this kick for the App State Mountaineers. Reed Harradine has it teed up just inside the far hash.
It's a beautiful night for football.
Sun Belt League play is underway, and it's a touchback to begin. I mentioned that App State opening drive a week ago to Dalton Stroman. It was a 72-yard, one-play opening drive on the touchdown pass from A.J. Swan. Austin, you are going to love A.J. Swan and what he brings to this Mountaineer offense.
Yeah, he's a true old-school commander of the offense, going to handle the pocket well. He'll move if he has to, but he wants to play in rhythm. So 3-step, 5-step drops. When he hits his back foot, he already knows where he wants to go with the football. And again, if he stays in rhythm, he's hard to beat.
Motion to begin for the Mountaineers. Rashad Binion gets the first carry of the ball game. And you can see his strength and power finishing the run out across the 30-yard line. The Arkansas transfer, that's what he brings, is the ability to finish.
Yeah, he's a good change up here. You can see just downhill double teams, trying to establish the line of scrimmage early. Chris Jones there on the tackle for Southern Miss.
Barnes sends motion. Hand off to Binion. First down, Mountaineers staying on the ground, establishing a ground game early for Dow Loggins ball game.
Yeah, great way to settle in as an offense is just to be able to hand it off and get positive yardage.
Binion entered this afternoon, number 2 in FBS and rush yards per game, behind the intended target in William Fowles here on A.J. Swan's first pass attempt of the evening.
Yeah, a little misfire there to Fowles as came inside on the slant. Had a small window, but threw it a little late. Brings up second down.
Fowles had a reception a week ago in that win over Lindenwood for 17 yards. David Larkins, the big tight end target, settled as an H-back. Look out! Jaden Barnes with the football. Down to the 21-yard line goes Jaden Barnes.
Beautiful call right here by App State. RPO play action. You see the lineman pulling. That buys the linebackers into the run game, and there's nobody over the middle of the field. Easy pitch and catch for A.J. Swan there.
You can see Corey Myrick, the free safety for the Golden Eagles. Took a bad angle against Barnes, allowed him more in space. A.J. Swann's got the freedom to change. He's audibled the play at the line of scrimmage. And a timeout is called by Southern Miss.
First charge timeout.
Probably speaks to the rhythm of the offense. Charles Huff called that timeout, ran down, popped it off, wanted the ability for this defense to communicate at the moment.
Yeah, it looks like Southern Miss is trying to move their defensive line and shift their front. I noticed on the second play of the drive there, but they're not as crisp getting lined up, so I think it's hurting them. They got to, of course, you want to confuse them, but at some point you got to line up and be physical, and I bet that's what they're talking about right here.
You can see Jason Seymour, the defensive coordinator for Charles Huff's staff, backwards hat and the headset right in the middle of that defense. He's a wizard right now, but he's also said he is working this defense to find out how much depth does he have, and right now still trying to find that continuity and chemistry amongst the best 11 out on the field.
Well, I think he, as an experienced coach, knows what identity he wants to bring to a team, but until his players show him what they can do, I think there's still some question marks.
Swann moves Dubinion to his right. A.J. Swann keeps it himself. An efficient runner is the description that you kind of label A.J. Swann. He's not looking to rush for 30, 40 yards on any one of those, but doing just that.
Yeah, just a zone read here, and you can see the nickel coming off the slot. Ian Foster takes the dive, so that's a no-doubt pull read. And you go get 5, and it's a good positive play. Good decision.
Second down and 4. Larkins, the tight end, set to the right. Dubinion looking for room off the right side, has a few.
Same thing there for this Southern Miss defensive line with the shifts. They're having a tough time getting lined up. They're trying to switch sides. See, they're standing around. App State's coming off the football. They're going to have to get that fixed.
What did you expect from a Dowell Loggins offense? He comes out of the NFL, years of experience coaching behind the shield of the NFL. Dubinion, right side, has the first down for the Mountaineers. Inside the 10-yard line goes this offense.
Yeah, you bring up a great point, Jason. NFL-style offenses, which is where Dowell Loggins comes from, there's so much emphasis put on moving tight ends, getting the front set the way you want it to create those creases in the run game. So that's really showing up here early.
First and goal from the 7 officially. It's a Dubinion carry inside the 5.
Beautiful opening drive here for App State. 5-6 plays in. Methodical drive, running the football.
There you see what App State has done this season in the red zone. They've been perfect to this point. Low snap, A.J. Swann picks it up, and it's intercepted by the Golden Eagles. That's Anthony Richard Jr. in the back corner of the end zone. The low snap affect the timing, and A.J. Swann threw it right into the breadbasket of Anthony Richard.
Yeah, starts with just the bad snap. Swann tries to force it and just doesn't quite get enough air on the ball. He rolled it back there. Swann knew where he wanted to go, but not able to throw a very accurate ball.
It'll be the Golden Eagle offense on the field when we return. It is the Sun Belt Conference opener tonight here in Hattiesburg. App State's had a lot more success at these than the Golden Eagles. You see 9 of their last 10. They did lose last year in their Sun Belt Conference opener to South Alabama. Southern Miss still looking for Sun Belt Conference opener win number 1 since joining this league.
Yeah, somewhat new to this conference, and it hasn't been pretty the last 3 or 4 seasons. And that's something that Coach Huff's looking to change.
Golden Eagle offense after they get the turnover in the end zone. What was a 9-play, 71-yard drive to that point for App State. Caden Morris, the tight end, motion, swing pass to Jeffrey Pittman, and he is gobbled up. The linebacker, get to know this name, Colton Ferris, the sophomore from Beaufort, South Carolina, making the tackle.
Yeah, Ferris, 6'2", 225. Redshirt sophomore, can really run sideline to sideline, can dissect and read the offensive scheme. Makes a lot of plays for this defense.
Morris in motion again. They'll use the screen pass to Braylon Brown, who caught a touchdown a week ago. Braylon Brown in the turf here, they say, as he gets up to the 21-yard line. Set up a third down and 9.
The ball carrier was down before the ball came loose. It's third down.
You really see the emphasis for Southern Miss to get the ball on the edge. Must feel like they have a matchup in space.
There you can see Braylon Brown's elbow hit before the football came out. Braylon Braxton moves Pittman back to his right, stepping up in the pocket. Now wanting to run. Now will throw, and it is incomplete. Braylon Braxton wasn't quite sure whether to tuck it and go or try to get the ball downfield, but we do have a penalty flag on the field.
Illegal forward pass. Offense, number 1. The quarterback was completely beyond the line of scrimmage before he released the ball. 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Loss of down. It's 4th down.
Yeah, you can see Braylon just gets kind of lost here. Becomes a runner, passes the line of scrimmage completely. That's the important detail there. Any body part behind the line of scrimmage, that's a legal forward pass, but call there, he was beyond. App State declines that penalty.
The punter from down under, Jack Murley, will allow his coverage team to get down the field. The punt to Jaden Barnes is received. App State going to pick up where they left off when we come back. Back at the Rock in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, a turnover and a 3-and-out. That's how this ball game has began so far for both of these clubs. A.J. Swan, the quarterback transfer from LSU, started 12 games at Vanderbilt, had over 2,700 yards passing in the SEC, did A.J. Swan. He's off to a hot start so far on this season. You see what he's done, Austin. It's been impressive. 662 yards, 5 touchdowns, and that 1 INT.
Yeah, it's just efficient. Off to a very good start, minus that one decision there in the red zone. And just got to throw that football away. Don't make a bad play worse. It's a bad snap, and he let that problem compound and ended up making a bad decision.
He has the INT tonight to add to his total of 2 on the season. He'll roll here to his right and throw it away. Gets rid of the football. He was under the pressure of Broderius Lewis, who's the only defender back for the Golden Eagles who played the last time these two teams met in Boone, North Carolina.
Yeah, Broderius Lewis, 6'2", 295 pounds, out of Prattville, Alabama. He is a force on the inside of this defensive line.
Back to the ground, Rashad Dubinion. Golden Eagles a little more run-focused on this series.
Yeah, good play there by Chris Jones. Coach Charles Huff gets the job at Southern Miss. He goes to his introductory press conference, and he walks in and says, I need to see 35. I need to talk to him. He's going to be a leader for me. He knew he was that good.
Isaiah Cummings is across the formation, showing the coverage. Josh Moten went for the pick. It was caught to the top side of the formation by Dalton Stroman, the big target at 6'4", 210.
Needed every inch of 6'4" on that. Perfect ball placement, high and away, us or nobody. Look at the ball placement. Moten's there. There's no defense for a perfect throw.
Those two are going to be fun to watch all night tonight. Stroman's only began this season with a career-high catch number and career-high yards in a game number, and he's loose again. Had the 72-yarder a week ago, and he gets down to the red zone marking to the 20-yard line is where Dalton Stroman goes on his second reception of the night.
Yeah, Stroman just matched up with Rashard again, but just poor tackling on the perimeter. If you're going to give up 4 or 5 yard hitch routes, you just got to make the play.
A.J. Swan is 3 of 6 for 56 yards to begin in this ball game. It's Jaden Barnes. Zone read here, and it's pulled and passed. Isaiah Cummings, as Barnes came across the formation, the read to Dubinion, and then A.J. Swan the late pull.
Yeah, trying to get Cummings out in the flat. You can see it's a bluff flat, and accuracy is so important for run after the catch on these types of plays. But once that ball starts bobbling around, you really lose your advantage.
Ian Foster, the nickel back. The Golden Eagles had the tackle. Screen game into the hands of Jaden Barnes. Look at him move. Open field tackle made by the Golden Eagles of Corey Myrick.
Yeah, Jaden Barnes is a guy that you have to get the football to in space. Extremely shifty. Love the wide receiver screen off of counter action. Linebackers are chasing guards and tackles, thinking it's a run. The quarterback just flips it out on the perimeter. Great design.
A.J. Swan began 1 of 4 in this ball game. Now 4 for his last 4. This is thrown errantly out in front of Dalton Stroman, but a penalty flag comes in from the backside.
Pass interference. Defense, number 4. Automatic first down.
So referee tonight, Tim Barker. Anthony Richard Jr. is called for the pass interference.
Correction, number 23. Number 23.
Yeah, he's sitting inside leverage, so just kind of in the way. I don't know if I love that call there because he's positioned correctly. The receiver runs into him.
Dubinion walks it in for the Mountaineers. App State on the road. Begins with an early lead here in Hattiesburg for Rashad Dubinion. That's his second rushing touchdown of the season.
Yeah, App State already 126 total yards, minus the interception. Really had their way with this Southern Miss defense in the first quarter.
Dap up to Yosef to go with it for Rashad DeBinion. True freshman kicker is Dominic DeFreitas. He is on at the point after attempt. High snap, good hold. Kick is up and true. 7-0 early lead for App State. It's the Golden Eagles offense that'll get their opportunity to respond as Rashad DeBinion walked it in. For App State, other than the turnover, you really couldn't script the start any better.
Yeah, 16 plays, over 120 yards. You know, really going pretty quick too, scoring fast. Like you said, just the interception.
If you're Dowell Loggins, that's what you want to see. And he said we were going to learn a lot about these teams tonight here in Game 3. Sort of an equal test of conference mates, if you will, as Cash McVay's kickoff sails deep into the end zone. A touchback. Now for Charles Huff, it's your team's opportunity to respond, is it not?
Yeah, we assumed these were two equal teams, but to this point, not very equal. App State showed up ready to play. Southern Miss still trying to find some footing.
Braylon Braxton really took control of the job a year ago at Marshall against App State. You see the start to the season he's off to as the Southern Miss quarterback this season.
Yeah, he's just last week, didn't play his best game, but just so efficient and makes good decisions and smart, and look up at the end of the game, and stats are really good, and that's who he's been his whole career.
Elijah Metcalf came in motion, took the handoff from Braylon Braxton. Blake Anderson going to pick the tempo up. 4-yard gain on first down. Braylon's looking up top. He was trying to go to Carl Chester, the top of the formation. The coverage was applied by Emory Floyd.
Yeah, good coverage by Floyd. Just hip to hip, running with the wide out, forcing him wide, not giving Braylon Braxton a lot of space to throw this football. As you can see there, just not a lot of grass to lay it on the outside shoulder.
So Metcalf is in the slot at the top of the formation. Kyron Heath has returned this week. He's at the bottom side. Hard snap count by Braylon Braxton. The pass is caught by the tight end Heath, who's returning from injury. Wasn't available last week against Jackson State. We do have the flag on the field.
Offside. Defense in the neutral zone at the snap. The penalty will be declined. Result of the play is a first down.
Good hard count by Southern Miss here, right there. 44 jumps off sides. It's a free play. If you know that at quarterback, let's take a shot downfield for a free one. But Braxton takes the easy completion, moving the sticks.
That's who he is. He was 8 of 14 a year ago against App State for 129 yards, 3 touchdowns through the air. But it was also the feat of Braylon Braxton of 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. And that performance for the Herd against App State that really took control of the job and never relinquished it did Braylon Braxton a year ago.
And here's the Jeffrey Pittman Southern Miss fan wants to see. Running through arm tackles, getting extra yardage. Instead of it being 2nd and 6, you're looking at 2nd and 2.
He averaged over 7 yards a carry against Jackson State last weekend to Jeffrey Pittman. Option play here for Braylon Braxton. He'll dump it off to Elijah Metcalf, who's been active very early in Blake Anderson's game plan.
Yeah, just a little slide route behind the line of scrimmage, trying to get lost. App State's in man-to-man coverage, one of the hardest routes to stay with. Picks up a nice, easy gain for a first down.
Golden Eagles operating in Mountaineer territory for the first time. Robert Briggs moved to the left. Hard snap count. The defense shows maybe a plan or a ploy. Dylan Haas, the safety, had walked down. Braylon Braxton looking to throw. He'll dump it off to Briggs in space. Down to the 30-yard line goes Robert Briggs. Penalty flag is in the backfield area.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense, number 93. Contact to the helmet. 15-yard penalty. Correction, half the distance. Automatic first down.
You take a look here. Just a late action. Yeah, they're going to protect quarterbacks, as we know. Braxton does a beautiful job there. Field was spread out. Just going to check the football down.
Nigel Cooper was who was called for that contact to the head region of Braylon Braxton. Backside throw to Kyron Heath. He's got it. Made a man miss, but they say he stepped out of bounds inside the 10-yard line.
Nice play here by the quarterback. Just throwing back to Heath. Southern Miss ran a halfback out of the backfield on a wheel route. Heath's the second option there.
Braylon Braxton pulls it out of the belly of Jeffrey Pittman. That was a great decision. He will work his way to the 5-yard line.
Yeah, and this is the spot on the field where this Southern Miss offense has got to get touchdowns. The way they want to play, you can't settle for field goals.
First and goal from the 5. Read option play. Braylon Braxton might have got away with one there. Linebacker and Kyle Arnholt could not haul it in, as Braylon Braxton was trying to throw it away.
Yeah, Arnholt not fooled by the RPO. As you see, Braxton's kind of sliding with that run game, trying to get Arnholt to bite, but he doesn't take it. Great coverage.
Check with me situation for Braylon Braxton. Back to the sideline of the Golden Eagles. He'll move Pittman from his right to his left. Jeffrey Pittman's in. Touchdown, Southern Miss.
Great answer by this Golden Eagle offense. 4.5, 5-man box, maybe inside the red zone. Let's hand it to that guy and let him do work. Simple call, power play, pull the guard, get behind him.
Reed Harradine is on for the extra point try. It is up and true. He splits them here at Roberts Stadium. Tie ball game here with 4:05 left in this opening quarter. Austin, that light box you referred to, you could see it at the start of the play. That App State defense was sort of lined up really from sideline to sideline, protecting the edges and the boundary, but it lightened the box, did it not?
Yeah, picket fence. So typical red zone or common red zone defense, I should say. Inside the 5, kind of flat across the board, protecting the front side of the end zone. And just a good call there. Hand the football off, trust your offensive line, and trust Pittman to run through an arm tackle, which he did.
And look, it's something that the Golden Eagles emphasize this week in practice to get the ground game going even a little more early. Only 12 yards rushing to this point, but it was still some option plays, those extensions of handoffs that Charles Huff has said, look, some of those could be included in the ground game out of this Blake Anderson system.
Yeah, you're going to continue to see that. Again, you throw it out wide, you get 4 yards. That's a run play in this offense. That's how they view it. And it really doesn't matter how you get it down the field as long as you move it.
Lonnie Alexander is the deepest man. Jaden Barnes is going to stand at the 5-yard line. For App State, as Reed Harradine is set to kick it away. On a Saturday night inside the Rock in the Pine Belt region of Mississippi. Alexander gives it up. Feels like it's time to take the touch back, and that's where this App State offense that's amassed 126 total yards through 2 drives, 94 through the air thus far for A.J. Swan. What's been impressive about him so far?
Yeah, just like we talked about, just efficient, 2 of 2 on third downs, 16 total plays, and then 18.8 yards per completion, so getting a lot out of the passing game. And it's easy to keep calling pass plays when you're getting 18 yards a pop if you're Dow Loggins.
It's a give this time. The backup tailback for the Mountaineers. That was Jakari Lewis with the carry. True freshman out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Southern Miss's Ian Foster blitzed off the slot, made the play in the backfield.
Fouls is across to his slot position. Swing pass out to Jakari Lewis. Nice job by Mike Montgomery, the Mike backer of this Golden Eagle defense out in space, the former FCS All-American.
Mike Montgomery, you can see sideline to sideline. He's 6'4", 250. You don't see many linebackers 6'4", 250. But this guy can move and cover the middle of the field in the passing game.
Yeah, the ones who can do that make a lot of money at this. Trips formation. Mountaineers are 2 for 2 on third down to this point. And it's dropped. In and out of the hands of William Fowles. Corey Myrick had the coverage for this Golden Eagle defense. First punt opportunity for App State tonight.
Yeah, had everything they wanted right here to be 3 for 3. Just got to pitch and catch. Ball's a little low, but got to step up, make that play, and make that first down.
Unique punt formation for the Mountaineers. Ratliff will punt it away. An end-over-end punt. It'll take a Mountaineer roll out of bounds inside the 30. This Golden Eagle offense returns off a 10-play, 75-yard scoring drive that went 2 minutes and 57 seconds. They had 4 drives of 10-plus plays in the opener against Mississippi State, and then 2 drives of 10-plus plays that resulted in 2 touchdowns last weekend against Jackson State. So their first scoring drive of the night, a sustained drive for this offense.
Yeah, and using the whole offense, multiple guys getting the football. Metcalf, Brown, Briggs, Heath, tight end, receiver screen, run game. So very versatile.
Oh, in that opener against Mississippi State, they completed passes to 11 different receivers. Here's Braylon Braxton. I'll tell you, he and A.J. Swan, there's a lot of modeling between these 2 quarterbacks tonight.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to tackle Braylon Braxton. That's a big kid running downhill.
6'2", 230. Told me recently when he leaves the pocket, he believes he's a running back. Braylon popped. Boy, he was stood up and stuffed. Making that tackle was Dylan Manuel, the 300-pound sophomore out of Stockbridge High School in Georgia.
Yeah, does a good job. Splits the double team, fights the double team, goes to anchor, beats it, splits them right there at the point of attack.
This is a defense that had 16 tackles for losses last week against Lindenwood. That's a month's worth for some defenses. It's 3rd and 6. On the third offensive possession for Southern Miss.
Crucial 3rd down right here. App State wants to show pressure.
They're coming too. Quickly out. It's caught by Tyshawn Chapman for Southern Miss to convert the first down. You could see the pressure coming, couldn't you?
Yeah, good job by Braxton. When you see pressure, you replace the pressure with blitz. Your natural instinct is to try to go away from it, but for a quarterback, you have to throw into pressure. Great job right there. Got the slant right behind the nickel blitz.
Too high safety look. It's a give to Robert Briggs, who had a rushing touchdown last week against Jackson State. He spins into Mountaineer territory across the 50.
You can really start to feel the rhythm of this offense as they get going. It almost seems like that first down is the whole shebang for this offense.
It's the biggest hurdle, right?
Yeah, once they get that, you can start to see the flow, you can see the tempo.
Pulls it. Tyshawn Chapman's running wide open in rhythm. Down to the 16-yard line.
You've heard of the term dime, 10 out of 10. This is the dime. Right up the seam. Beautiful ball, skinny post. Got to put that ball on a line, can't lay it.
Tyshawn Chapman here does not complete
Rolling on the field is an
catch.
incomplete forward pass. Second down.
That's going to be close.
Aaron Dobson is wide receiver coach, kind of the head pat onto the helmet.
Looked like he may have made a football move. I don't know. Let's take a look here. Nah.
I don't know if
incomplete.
he ever secured it. You can see it off that left side.
Yeah, incomplete. Just the way he tucked it and started running, I thought he had it. But that's a good call.
Oh, some trickeration. The reverse to Elijah Metcalf. He'll find his way inside the 15. This Golden Eagle offense, they've had success in the red zone themselves. 8-9 on the season. 7 touchdowns in that span.
This was a great play by this App State defense that showed tremendous speed. They were bought early on the reverse, but just good recovery.
The end of the first quarter.
One quarter is done in Sun Belt Conference play for these two clubs. 7-7, just like we thought. It'll be a tight ball game. We'll be back with much more. This one had all the makings of a good one, and so far through a quarter of play, practically dead even. 7 points apiece. Another red zone opportunity for this Golden Eagle offense. Matt Jones is into the ball game for the first time at running back. Braylon Braxton is going down, sacked by this defense that had 8 sacks a week ago against Lindenwood. Resulted in them having only -1 rushing yards for the entire game.
3, 4, 5. Ball's got to go somewhere. That's good protection. Can't take that sack. Not in the red zone.
That was the junior Thomas Davis, the Miami transfer, who got Braylon Braxton to the turf. Reed Harradine is on for a 39-yard field goal attempt. He was 0 for 2 last week against Jackson State in field goals longer than this. Harradine splits the uprights here. Golden Eagles take an early second quarter lead, 10-7 here with 14:09 to play in this second quarter. Think if you're the App State defense, you'll take it. For the Golden Eagles, you're happy to have your first lead early, right?
Yeah, get points. It's always good to get points. And just game of momentum, right? Get ahead, stay ahead, and really kind of flip the script. App State had control early, but Southern Miss kind of got some things going on offense, hit a few big plays, and take the lead early in the second.
It was kind of a missed timely quarter break, if you're honest, in the Golden Eagle offense. This is an offense for Blake Anderson that is very rhythmic, very rhythm-based, if you will. That quarter, you could tell, boy, they were finding the spaces, had the play calls working, but then the quarter break happens, gives the Mountaineers opportunity to adjust, right?
You can almost sense the difference of this offense when it's kind of moving and they're going so fast the defense can't get lined up. They're play action, they're throwing receiver screens. It's the whole mojo, but coming out of breaks, it's almost like a fast break offense. You know, they set plays, it's just not really them.
Reed Harradine will kick it off. Kamani Alexander is the deep man for the Mountaineers. So far, Harradine's been true on touchbacks. This one tucked inside the pylon. 3 for 3 on touchbacks tonight on kickoffs. The Golden Eagle kicker and Reed Harradine. Dowell Loggins, you and him practically crossed paths in your time in the NFL. I believe he was leaving the Cleveland Browns as you were arriving, were you not?
I think it was 2014. He was in Cleveland, and then he left, and I came in 15. But cross paths with Josh McCown and a couple other quarterbacks that had been with him. So kind of through them, got to know his name, and they loved him. They loved not only the coach, but the guy. Loved him as a person, and that typically goes hand in hand. Good guy makes a good ball coach.
A.J. Swan quickly out to Jaden Barnes. Corey Myrick makes the open field tackle for the Golden Eagles.
I got the sense that he could really relate to players, which will translate well to the college level.
Told me one of the big reasons to get into the college game was to go coach in places like Boone, North Carolina, on top of the mountain.
Yeah.
That's what he told us this week. Arrived in early December as the head coach of the Mountaineers. After the departure of Sean Clark, their former 5-year head coach of this program, who, by the way, our thoughts and prayers go to Sean Clark. Medical emergency this week, but on the mend and recovering. We certainly send those thoughts and prayers to him. Rashad Dubinion was a big-time recruit. Get out of the transfer portal, and you see why.
Yeah, a little off tight end run there. Motion the receiver across, get a couple guards, tackles out front.
He has such a style that reminds me of the great, uber-talented Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
If you can remember him, it's that upright, but it's just the slight wiggle to make a man miss. Quickly out of the hand of A.J. Swan and caught by Dalton Stroman and down to the Golden Eagle 40-yard line.
Yeah, condensed formation, RPO, flash, ball. That's very quick, very hard to defend.
play action pass. A.J. Swann working around in the pocket, dumps it off to Isaiah Cummings. And there'll be another red zone opportunity for the Mountaineers.
There is so much run-pass conflict that this offense presents at defense. You notice on these play-action passes, they're pulling guards, they're running tackles. Everything to the linebacker screams run. Come up, make a play on the run. I see a guard pull, I'm reading that, and then bang. Quarterback pulls it, corner out by the tight end, beautiful.
It's kind of like second-level passing, and they're getting you to move out of your spot.
Southern Miss.
Timeout taken by this Golden Eagle defense.
Seconds.
Jason Seymour wants some time to talk with his unit. We'll step away. We'll be back with much more.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at this run-pass conflict that App State is causing for this Southern Miss defense. Future play callers, when you pull guards in the run game, you see 41, Amir Foster. He's stepping up, thinking run all the way. Watch the right side of your screen. Chris Jones, same thing. Run, 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 bang, pass right behind him. So very good design by Dowell Loggins and just taking this run game and marrying it to the passing game. There's sameness. Everything looks the same to the defense.
We've seen 2 defensive timeouts tonight for the Golden Eagles to this point of this first half. I think they've been timely timeouts as well for the Golden Eagle defense. They've got to find a way to adjust to that, don't they?
I think that was defensive line. I think that was the shifting of the tight ends, trying to get lined up. And they're creating holes in the run game, and Southern Miss and they've gotten it fixed, but early on they had to use a few timeouts on that.
Isaiah Cummings is motioned as the H-back. It's a give to Rashad Dubinion. Boy, that's tough. Right to the arms of Mike Montgomery, who's been active early, but not quite as active as he once was as a Portland State Viking. 17, the Mike backer. Once had 14 tackles at Oregon for the FCS program, Portland State, all in the second half.
In the second half.
That's unbelievable.
That's a game's worth of tackles in one half versus a premier college football program.
Read and pull to Isaiah Cummings. He'll be bumped out of bounds. Anthony Richard Jr. is the man who stopped him from getting into the end zone.
Yeah, trying to slip Cummings again. RPO, play action, fake the dive, trying to get the tight end in the flat. Good job by Southern Miss. That's what you have to do against this offense. You got to be disciplined. You have to stay. You can't play aggressive. So now you're sitting trying to read, okay, run, pass, what is it? You can tend to get on your heels a little bit. And that's exactly what an offense wants.
William Fowles in motion. A.J. Swann going to swing it to Rashad Dubinion. That is intercepted into the hands of Ian Foster. A defensive score for the Golden Eagles.
The ruling on the field is an interception, return for a touchdown.
My, oh my. Talk about right place, right time. Swings it out to the running back. Looks like it bounces off the running back. Doesn't hit the turf. Foster's right there. Let's take a look right here. I think his hand's under it. It's hard to tell. It's just nothing that says that it didn't hit the ground.
It's going to be a 99-yard INT if it stands.
The ruling on the field of an interception, return for a touchdown, is under video review.
Got to take a look to make sure they get it right, but there's nothing so far that I've seen, Austin, that would make you believe
it looked. I mean, it very
otherwise.
easily could have bounced off the ground there, just using common sense, but you can't see it on the replay review. And talk about a break for this Southern Miss football team. Really had him open and just underthrew it. And Ian Foster with the football in his hands at the returner that he is, he's no stranger to this. I mean, you knew he was going to score.
Yeah, he was
not going to get ran down.
He was the FBS leader in kickoff returns a year ago. What a gift. You could see him grinning through the helmet on the way down the sideline. Boy, you can't fault Dubinion either. He was just giving all effort to try to make the catch on the dive. So our replay team here at MM Roberts taking a look. This is the purpose of replay 100%, to get a play, an impactful, game-changing play right, correct.
After video review, the ruling on the field has been upheld. Touchdown.
So 99 yards on the interception by Ian Foster. And the defense puts points on the board.
What a game-changing play that is. That's two. That's two turnovers inside the 10-yard line.
For an offense that came into tonight 8 of 8 in the red zone, as Reed Harradine puts the extra point try up and through. What a moment for the Golden Eagles. Ian Foster ends up with the football in his hands, and boy, he knew what to do with it. Loggins and his ball club rolled into Hattiesburg, perfect in red zone scoring on the season. But look to the bottom of the graphic tonight. They've got the 1 touchdown on the Dominion run, but then the 2 costly picks. One of them very costly, points on the board for the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, it's hard to win ball games when you lose the turnover battle. It's even harder when they both occur inside the red zone, inside the 10. You're going in for points. So typically in a game like this, you're going to go back, you're going to take a loss, and you're going to circle those 2 plays and say, that's where we lost it. Now, doesn't mean they can't come back and make a ball game out of this, but they put themselves in a tough spot.
Yeah, boy, there's a lot of football left in this football game tonight. That 99-yard interception return is the second longest INT return. The longest belongs to Kendrick Presley of 100 yards versus Memphis back in 2011. You know what happened that year?
KP.
That was the last conference title that was won here for the Golden Eagles. Positive sign.
What game, Memphis?
That was Memphis.
It was here. That clinched that game, clinched the West.
Our statistician, magician, Marty Wyndham with a real nugget.
Okay.
He said he walked to his car last Saturday from the Rock alongside of Presley and his son, KP.
Yeah.
Who had that longest INT. Rashad Dominion with the carry. But the man, Ian Foster, comes in and makes tackle for no gain. That's what you want your nickel to be able to do. That's a man that's got to make that tackle on that running back near the line of scrimmage.
He's a force pressuring off the edge, and he can cover too. He's not limited to one or the other.
A.J. Swan's looking to throw. They're going to challenge Ian Foster here to Jaden Barnes, and he is going to go up and make the catch. Let me tell you, when you pop the tape on App State, Jaden Barnes jumps off of it.
Yeah, he does, and that's a beautiful throw. Just a wheel route. Defender's got his back turned, and you cannot play defense with your back turned. That's a quarterback's mantra anyway. If you can put the ball where you want to,
Southern Miss.
Throw and catch.
This is their 3rd and final charge timeout.
Golden Eagles are going to use their final timeout of the half. It's going to be another defensive called timeout. And Austin, you were alluding to it earlier. That's Clyde Christensen as well, the associate head coach of App State. There is a lot of NFL flair and style to this staff of App State and Dowell Loggins. They have utilized the motion, the movement, if you will, and that ability has forced Southern Miss to have to use all 3 timeouts to make those defensive adjustments. Yeah,
228 yards for App State to Southern Miss's 113. So they're moving the football on offense. Just can't turn it over. But they've done a really good job. Shifts, motions, tight ends, play action, run pass conflict for the defense. It's just turnovers.
A look at the DC of the Golden Eagles. That's him, Jason Seymour, who was an amazing linebacker in his own right. Adams State. A.J. Swan. Jaden Barnes in motion. It's the handoff to Dominion. This Golden Eagle run defense beginning to solidify themselves into this ball game. It's a defensive front that has taken a lot of pride. They said, Charles Huff said, we needed to get bigger up front for this Golden Eagle defense, and he said we did it.
Yeah, total focus on size up front for Southern Miss in the offseason. And like you said, they went out and found some bodies that fit the mold.
Potency of the Mountaineer offense to this point of the season. Jaden Barnes, when he stopped a yard shy of the first down at the 40. That is Barnes' 6th reception already in this opening half. Rashad Dominion will have the first down and more. Dominion's a guy who averaged 6.7 yards per carry while he was a Razorback running back. Had over 888 yards, 8 touchdowns, twice over 100 yards. One time his season high of 112 against La Tech. Play action pass. A.J. Swann's going to turn it loose. Was it caught on the dive? I believe they say no, it couldn't be. Caught by Jayden Barnes, the junior of McDonough, Georgia.
Yeah, play action pass, trying to get Barnes across the field. Good job by Mike Montgomery, just turning and running. Once he reads out of the run, turn, fine work, run with that crosser. And that's where his length, just his range comes into play.
It's a throw for A.J. Swann. He'd like to have back, though. Kind of short-armed that one, kind of throwing him open down towards the turf. That's Barnes in motion. Pressure to the face of A.J. Swann. He had to get rid of it. He had to check me down. Isaiah Cummins on the backside, but pressure in his face was Jabari Ishmael.
Yeah, that was a risky throw there. Ishmael really all over the tight end there on the backside. He's trying to set up the tight end screen. Again, NFL play. Tight end, little play action tight end screen. It's all over this offense, but just a great job staying home.
J.J. Hawkins had the pressure on A.J. Swann. Here's a pass downfield on the corner route, and it's caught. The tight end again, Isaiah Cummins, leaping up to make the catch.
Man, that was a great play. Just standing in the pocket, laying it up there. Chris Jones coming on the coverage, but just a little too late, and he put a perfect ball in there where it was his guy or nobody.
Empty set for the Mountaineers. A.J. Swann's going to sling it out. Jayden Barnes, who has it, and he goes out of bounds with it.
That gives Barnes 6 for right at 100 in the first half.
There's been no answer for him so far. Rashad Dubinion with the carry. Boy, he was whacked right in the middle, in the heart of that Golden Eagle defense. Jaden McKinney was the first man there. There is a penalty flag thrown late in the play.
Personal foul. Illegal use of hands to the face. Number 90, defense. Half the distance to the goal line. Automatic first down.
Najee Hollenbeck.
Yeah, it looks like he may have got kind of up under that face mask. You see the offensive lineman there for App State, kind of head bent back. Officials see that. Got to call it.
Duba Coleman, the true freshman, in motion. It's a give to Dubinion, and he is stopped. A tackle for loss for this defense. That's their first of the ball game against this Mountaineer offense, and it's Jabari Ishmael who's been all over it, and his presence felt on this offensive series.
Yeah, really good play there. 24 coming off the edge.
There's Josh Battle, the safety for the Golden Eagles, coming up as well with that first sort of leg wrap, if you will. Jabari Ishmael cleaned it up. Pass caught over the middle. That was to William Fowles on the reception out of his slot position. Just a simple slant.
Story of the night so far, App State's red zone offense. Not only have they not gotten points, they've turned it over. Southern Miss wants to keep that going here.
It is 3rd and goal. They are 4 of 6 on 3rd down, are the Mountaineers. Swann under pressure, intercepted again. This time a yard deep in the end zone. It's picked off by the Golden Eagles. The defensive back stepped up, and Mathis Haygood to make the INT.
Officials timeout for an injured player.
We'll be back to Roberts Stadium in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. 3 picks, all happening in the red zone tonight for this Golden Eagle defense. Golden Eagles with multiple INTs in consecutive games for the first time since November of 2022 against their opponents of the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers and the South Alabama Jags. 3 INTs for this defense tonight, and a quick swing pass from Braylon Braxton to Jeffrey Pittman to begin this offensive series.
Yeah, it's just, that's a tough for an entire game, much less a one half of football.
We have a pre-snap penalty.
False start. Offense, number 62. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
It's on the right guard, Alola Maui with a little flinch.
Yep, just a little early.
The transfer from Utah State wanted to come back and be reunited. His former head coach and Blake Anderson, now the offensive coordinator for the Golden Eagles. Braylon Braxton, tall in the pocket, misses high over the head of his intended target, Braylon Brown.
Yeah, tough throw there. Just trying to squeeze it in up the seam. Pretty good coverage. And, you know, you see that a lot going back to the offensive line transfer. You see that a lot happening in college football now. Players following coaches, where it used to much more difficult to do that. But a lot of Utah State and a lot of Marshall on this football team.
Kyron Heath, who's had a couple of receptions already in this ball game, in motion across the formation. Braylon Braxton's wide open to Elijah Metcalf. In space goes Mr. Metcalf, and down to the 36 of App State.
Yeah, nice seam ball right here. Lays it in there perfect for Metcalf. Had him spinning on the top in the secondary.
Braylon Braxton will check it down. Jeffrey Pittman's got to make the first man miss, and does. Spins off another, and inside the 35-yard line he goes.
Jeffrey Pittman to the 34. Flag on the play.
Flag at the end of the play. Jeffrey Pittman, you could see, frustrated.
Yeah, kind of hard to tell what was going on.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 0, offense. 15-yard penalty, second down.
Let's take a look at it. Good check down by Braxton.
A little frustration from Jeffrey Pittman and a little left foot shove.
Definitely some extracurricular activity. But
I think he appreciated the way he was being held by Nick Campbell on the turf.
False start. Offense, number 56. 5-yard penalty, second down.
So a dead ball penalty and 2 false starts after a beautiful seam route to Elijah Metcalf. This was on the left guard, Greg Nunnery.
just getting a little out of rhythm. You can feel the flow for Southern Miss, 2nd and 27.
Greg Nunnery, believe it or not, starting his 15th consecutive game tonight. Dating all the way back through last season as well for the Southern Miss Golden Eagles. Second and 27. Robert Briggs through 1 tackle.
Yeah, good heavy running right there. Run after first contact, probably 5-6 more yards for Briggs. Gets his first carry fresh. Boom. Yeah, at least.
That was all 5'9", 185 pounds of him.
Low to the ground, low center of gravity, powerful.
So it's 3rd and 19. You have the play sheet in front of you, and you're Blake Anderson, and you're in that no man's land. Are you thinking 2-down territory here?
I'm going to say wide receiver screen, get in field goal position. See how well I know him.
He went handoff.
Even better.
Yeah, boy.
It's the same thing.
You and I are in tune with his game plan tonight.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, Robert Briggs down to the 40.
It's not. The point is, it's not a 15-yard pass to try to get the first. You're trying to take advantage of how soft the defense is going to play, and gash them for a 8, 9, 10-yard run, and then you get the field goal.
For the folks at home, Austin Davis spent 4 seasons in this system of Blake Anderson back during the Larry Fedora era. Last time the Golden Eagles hosted a conference championship, Blake Anderson is calling the plays for Austin Davis. Substitution for the Mountaineers on. You can see him running on and Thomas Davis. Kevin Abrams, Verwain allowed to be substituted off.
Delay of game. Offense.
No.
Penalty will be declined. It's 4th down.
We're going to be called for a delay of game, but it's declined by App State. And the punting unit for Southern Miss on. Well, that was an offensive drive that had a lot of promise with the pass completion to Elijah Metcalf on that offensive series. But a dead ball personal foul. A couple pre-snap penalties. A drop punt here by Jack Murley, but he's going to do his job. He's going to get it inside the 20-yard line. We have some activity at the end of this play.
Almost disaster for Southern Miss, mishandling the snap. Really a sloppy sequence there after that interception. Not the way you want to capitalize.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, receiving team, number 9. The penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal line. 1st down.
So help me out here. Offense substitutes, official holds them up. Defense gets a chance to match that substitution. It took App State about 12 seconds to run a guy on and run a guy off. The offense still gets delay a game.
That's a new one for me tonight.
That looks terrible. How can that be on the offense? Maybe I'm missing something. I thought Charles Huff was going to go crazy, but he knows more than I do. But, I know that you have to let the defense match the sub. I get that. But there has to be a limit.
Well, I thought they
you
rebumped the clock,
reset
right?
it. It took App State 15 seconds to get a guy on and off. You just do that every time if you're the defense.
There is a backup quarterback in for App State. A.J. Swan on that last INT. Went off a little banged up. It's Noah Gillen who is in. A freshman from Tupelo, Mississippi.
Just a really good play by Richard. He's having a nice game. Had the interception early. Cuts off that end route and almost had another one. I guess 3 picks is enough for Dow Loggins. He's seen enough.
So Noah Gillen, a Mississippi kid, making his return. It's a give to Rashawn DeBinion. You got to think they're going to go heavy to DeBinion. He'll hurdle a man on the sideline, but pay for it. We're late in this second quarter.
Yeah, we've seen a good bit of DeBinion, 16 carries.
The 2-minute timeout.
Seen running back by committee from a few teams, but not tonight. They got one guy and they're giving it to him.
And they should. Rashad DeBinion, you see why. 2-minute timeout in Hattiesburg. 17-7, it will return. How about this? That's a lot. Wasn't a lot of success a year ago for the Golden Eagles. Just 6 INTs. That's the whole year.
Yeah.
There's been 3 tonight.
Yeah, they're making some big plays. I mean, these are game-changing plays. Just giving up yardage, but interceptions in the red zone.
Noah Gillen, this is not an unfamiliar place. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, of course, he plays inside of a stadium called The Rock, the campus of App State up in Boone. He's going to check it down to Dominion. But that's not what I'm meaning. Noah Gillen once won a state championship
Officials
in this
timeout
very
for an
facility.
interplayer of the defense.
For Tupelo High School here at The Rock, a 7A state title, and he's making his return inside of Roberts Stadium and making his collegiate debut as we've got a Golden Eagle shaken up. They boot Gillen out here on that replay.
A true freshman at that. It wasn't that long ago when he played in this stadium for
No,
a
it
state
was not.
championship.
You've been impressed with Dowell Loggins' play calling and system so far, haven't you?
Yeah, you just, again, look at the yardage, 272, almost 300 yards of football in 1 half. He's killing it, and I think that's why he made a change at quarterback, because, you know, they're in this ball game, if not winning, without the red zone turnovers.
So Jaden Barnes was in motion. There was some early movement as well. What was a fairly clean half, minus mistakes in the red zone for the Mountaineers, has turned all of a sudden in this last 4 minutes of this half extremely sloppy between these two teams.
After discussion, there is no foul on the play. It's second down.
Yeah, and I think that's, you know, and that's the tough part about freshman quarterback, changing quarterbacks, just the whole rhythm of the offense. Because although you're running the same system, every quarterback does it a little different. So now the offense is trying to learn a new guy, learn a new cadence, and it takes time.
We're going to leave it to Dominion. This is a good decision. Amir Foster and Ian Foster were out to combine on the tackle on 2nd and 10 to set up a 3rd and manageable here, 3rd and short for App State.
Yeah, just swarming defense, gang tackle. Thought Dominion had the edge there, but this Southern Miss defense has some speed. They are tough to get around the edge on.
Jamon Tappett set the edge as well. You see him as the defensive end on the bottom of that defensive line to transfer from Arizona State, who's growing into his own, up into 2-point stance.
Ian Foster showing pressure off the slot. I think he's bailing out, though. I think that's fake.
He wasn't coming. Now there's pressure. Oh, boy, what could have been maybe the second pick of the night for Ian Foster. He can't hold it in. And it ends up being 4th and 2, and the Mountaineers going to punt it away.
This Southern Miss defense is smelling blood in the water right now. You can tell the way they're moving, the confidence. They got a freshman quarterback in the game. And they're looking to take over this ball game. Almost another one.
He is a ball-hawking safety, no doubt. On for the Mountaineers, Ian Ratliff, Elijah Metcalf, made one man miss, but not another. So 54 seconds left. You've got a 10-point margin sitting around the 27-ish yard line. Blake Anderson, step on the gas. You get the football to start the 3rd quarter if you're Southern Miss.
All gas, no brakes.
Okay.
That's just the mindset. 54 seconds. You can score twice in 54 seconds.
Well, the kicker is there's no timeouts in his pocket, so it must be all gas, no brakes.
None or one?
None.
None.
There are no timeouts remaining in the pocket of Southern Miss. Used all 3 on
That's
the defensive side of the ball, right?
Incomplete pass stops the clock. I mean, you got to know all the tricks.
Yeah, OCs, who needs a timeout, right?
Yeah, if you gash them, I can just about guarantee it's not going to be conservative. But
boy, we've been on the game plan tonight.
I'm no Tony.
Yeah.
I mean, I try.
I thought you played for this guy.
I know he's changed. He's different.
Matt Jones with a carry. I think what Blake Anderson and Charles Huff know. 17-7. Got a quarterback that knows how to win college football games. And Braylon
no
Braxton.
question. We're in the booth for a reason. Me and you are here, and they're there.
I've never questioned why I'm here. Pass down the field. Is that hauled in? No, but it draws a flag. Micah Davis couldn't come up with it.
That was more like it.
There are multiple fouls on the play, one by each team. Offside. Defense number 44. Pass interference. Offense number 6. Those fouls offset. Second down.
Take a look here.
So it's Rondo Porter, who's been offsides already once. They got the push off on Micah Davis on the back half of that infraction as well on the offensive pass interference.
$19 seconds. Now you're getting this thing to halftime.
Braylon Braxton hits a knee. That's leadership. Braylon Braxton as well as Broderick Roman taking care of Greg Nunnery, who was protecting his guy. You could see that man, Charles Huff, was chasing after him. He did not want to see that penalty from Greg Nunnery. 17-7 at the half. Got a good one brewing inside of MM Roberts. We'll be back with more of our halftime show after this. Halftime at M.M. Roberts Stadium, the Golden Eagles hold and serve 17-7 tonight in the Sun Belt Conference opener across the league. We welcome you inside our broadcast booth. I'm Jason Baker alongside my color analyst, Austin Davis. And AD, first half, kind of like what we thought it would play out, isn't it?
Yeah, we felt like two evenly matched teams is what we would get. App State came in here with a really good offensive plan, really moved the football. Just been the turnovers. 3 interceptions inside the 10-yard line. That has gotten A.J. Swan put on the bench and new quarterback in. Is exactly what Southern Miss defense wanted.
Yeah, and these were the highlights of the opening half here at M.M. Roberts Stadium. App State started on the move and quickly.
Yeah, this guy's been really good. 15 getting in the secondary, making a play. Again, a lot of yards, just no points to show for it. Here's the first interception. Bad snap. Make a bad play worse. Interception by Richard.
Yeah, that was Anthony Richard Jr. with the first of what would turn out to be 3 INTs in the opening half. It was App State who responded right back to Dalton Stroman as well.
Yeah, Stroman's been good. Play calling's been good. Play action's been good. It's just Southern Miss is making the plays when they need to.
You see the touchdown run for Rashad Davinian. That was the only score so far for the Mountaineers. Then it was Braylon Braxton's turn. Austin, what have you loved about the start for him?
Once this Southern Miss offense kind of got going and got in their rhythm, you really saw who Braylon Braxton is. Play action, able to run the football, throw the ball accurately, and ultimately what he's doing that App State hasn't been able to do, just making good decisions.
Jeffrey Pittman got in from around 4 yards out. And that first red zone opportunity for Southern Miss. The seam route has been there as well in the first half.
Yeah, play action strike. Put the linebackers in a tough spot. Get Chapman up the seam. Big play for Southern Miss.
Mountaineer defense picking up where they left off. They had 8 sacks a week ago. That forced the field goal. At that moment, we thought, hey, if you're App State, you got to be pleased with that defense.
Yeah, they did a good job making the stop there. Came back firing. Again, good play action pass. Cummings has been good at tight end, 6'4", big target. And then the big interception, somewhat of a fluke play, but Ian Foster, right spot, right time, 99 yards the other way.
Second longest interception return. The last time they had one over 99 yards. The Golden Eagle fan base was enjoying a championship run back in 2011. For Austin Davis, I'm Jason Baker. We'll have more of our halftime show tonight as you're watching Sun Belt Conference football on ESPN. It's halftime at MM Roberts Stadium tonight. We'll return with more as you're watching Sunbelt Conference football on ESPN. (17-7) Golden Eagles maintain the halftime lead over the App State Mountaineers. Looking at the halftime stats, Austin, what stands out?
Well, obviously total yards, big difference. App State's been able to move the football, and then 3 turnovers to 0. You win the turnover battle, you win the football game 82% of the time. One stat, simple as they get, you got to win the turnover battle. Southern Miss is in position to do that.
The App State defense came into tonight one of the tops in the Sun Belt Conference through 2 ball games, but one category that was owned by the Golden Eagles was the turnover margin in this league. They're first in the Sun Belt Conference. If that trend continues, good times are ahead for the black and gold for Southern Miss.
Yeah, big plays, especially in the red zone. Against the offense that they knew would move the football. It's a good team, and making the plays when they need to.
Charles Huff and his Southern Miss Golden Eagles gotta like where they sit, but a second half is on tap. When we return to Hattiesburg, Mississippi, you're watching Sunbelt Conference football on ESPN. Back in Hattiesburg as we're getting ready for the third quarter kickoff. A developing story in this ball game has been the injury to A.J. Swan, the starting quarterback for the App State Mountaineers, Austin. And you saw Noah Gillum, a true freshman, make his appearance in the first half, but also making a return to the Rock, Billy Wiles, who once spent a season here in 2023. Matter of fact, he started the ball game against App State the last time these two teams met. He was one of those starting one quarterbacks of game one for the Golden Eagles during the Will Hall era. He makes his return tonight, now in a crucial role as the backup to Noah Gillum.
Yeah, you see the revolving door for this Southern Miss football team over the last few years at quarterback. Just looking for an answer.
Number 3 for Southern Mississippi is reporting as number 68. Number 3 is reporting as number 68.
So if you're Charles Huff and the Southern Miss Golden Eagles, what do you want to start this second half?
Well, you have obviously a nice lead, momentum going into the half, but you get the football So really just points. Go down and get points. And then on the defensive side of the football, you got a freshman quarterback, so you got to get after him, pressure, change the look. Don't play vanilla defense because that's what he's used to seeing in high school. So anything confusing for him, make it challenging.
Cash McVay will begin with a strong kick deep into the end zone, a touchback. This kickoff coverage unit. And on the flip side for Dowell Loggins and his Mountaineer club, they have been able to move the football. It's been the costly mistakes in the red zone. What must change for them in the third quarter?
Well, he's got to manage Gillian in the game at quarterback. How is he going to manage, on the road? How is he? Is he prepared? Is he ready to play? So that's something he's got to keep his finger on. A totally different play calling system when you got your freshman quarterback in the game. So may have to lean on the run game a little bit more.
Braylon Braxton's first half, 11 of 16, 140 yards, and throw a touchdown. Didn't turn it over either, right?
Consistent play.
Braylon gets it out to Micah Davis on a tunnel screen up across the 35-yard line. How about this move from Braylon Braxton? It was announced this week from the collective at Southern Miss, the To The Top collective, that Braylon Braxton has now garnered his own brand, a B1 brand. But here's the kicker. Part of the proceeds in the sales off that brand being returned back to the Southern Miss Golden Eagles through revenue sharing. It's a new in age
totally
college
new
football.
world. Yeah, and I think it's, some of the things, speaking of,
B1 across the 50-yard line into Mountaineer territory using his legs.
Yeah, and I think as we enter the new world of NIL in college football, those are the types of things, how the contracts are structured, how the university can benefit. So pretty cool for him to, take care of himself, which he should do, but also give back to the university and the team and help out.
Give to Jeffrey Pittman, running through tackles. Well, that's all effort from Jeffrey Pittman.
Strong physical run, and this is exactly what the Southern Miss offense wants to do. Just take over this football game, gap scheme, behind the guard, behind the tight end, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tacklers to get him down.
Boy, I love the kick-out block from Aloha Lamaui. You can see him on the pull and just pop the zone, the gap open, if you will, for Pittman to run through. Metcalf with another quick kind of extended handoff in that screen game for Blake Anderson.
Yeah, you can see they're lined up right now. They're ready to play. App State's still getting their subs on the field, but just the speed and the tempo of this offense is a nightmare.
Play action pass. Good blitz pickup by Jeffrey Pittman. This can't be hauled in. They were looking to go to Braylon Brown. That was good coverage that time from Elijah McCantos coming over from his free safety position.
Yeah, looking to take the shot into the end zone, little spot and go, little sit route. Good
Prior to the ball being
App State.
spotted, timeout for an injured player of the defense.
There's a player down in the back of the end zone for App State. That'll give an injury timeout on the field. Before that play, the first 4 plays of this second half had resulted in all first downs for the Southern Miss Golden Eagles to the start of this third quarter. And so the Mountaineer training staff, they've been a bit busy. A.J. Swan, what we saw from his walkout into this third quarter, not going to be available in the second half. Checking on the defender who is down, that's Ethan Johnson, the starting cornerback. It's a true freshman in Juan Burchell, who was scheduled on the depth chart behind Ethan Johnson, but Burchell not here with this Mountaineer ball club in Hattiesburg. You see Dowell Loggins out to check on his senior cornerback from Huntersville, North Carolina. So 2nd and 10 off the incompletion for Southern Miss. It's a Golden Eagle offense that through 2 ball games, averaging over 27.5 points scoring a game. 211 through the air, 120 on the ground. sitting right on pace for those here tonight. Another defender in the neutral zone, maybe a free play. This one's caught to Braylon Brown. Blake Anderson going right back to him after he couldn't haul that catch in the front part of the end zone. Right back to Braylon Brown to get it to an easy catch.
Got single coverage on the outside. Brown, good vertical speed. Shuts it down. Braxton, 1-2-3 ball.
We saw the only sack of the night against Braylon Braxton come really where he held it too long. Jeffrey Pittman motioned out of the backfield, design QB run for Braylon Braxton. He'll have it inside the 10 and a first down for Southern Miss.
Good numbers in the box for Southern Miss. Motion the running back out, lighten the box, and there's a huge advantage having a quarterback that can run in between the tackles. Not only can he run, but he can run in between the tackles as a running back.
Jeffrey Pittman, a jab step, comes out of a tackle from the Mountaineers, lowers his shoulder, but that's good run defense from that front seven of App State. Caleb Sandstrom, the defensive end, as well as Colton Ferris, the linebacker as well.
Yeah, good job. Just sound discipline. App State swarming to the football. They know they need a stop here bad. They've got to hold them to a field goal.
The Eagles are 2 of 3 in the red zone tonight. That's Metcalf in motion. Play action pass. Wide open is Robert Briggs. Does he haul it in? He does. Strong hands from Robert Briggs and a touchdown for Southern Miss.
Robert Briggs slips out of the backfield up the seam. Free release play action. Just hard to cover that down there. Good execution by the Southern Miss offense and exactly how you want to open this second half.
Replay booth taking maybe a quick look. Here's another look.
Take a look at that touchdown pass from Braylon Braxton to Robert Briggs. All day.
With the strength
Just
to
a
be
nice
able to.
hands catch. All hands.
The rolling on the field of a completed catch for a touchdown is under video review.
Love to see a running back be able to extend his hands and not need his body to make a catch.
Yeah, that was in the call. You could tell his ability, the extension away from his body to go get that football and remove it from touching the turf.
Yeah, just trust his hands.
There is a moment on the rollover that you can see maybe the football make contact, but I think it's all in control from Robert Briggs. And by the way, how about the play design from Blake Anderson?
Yeah. I mean, again, hard to cover running back slipping up the seam in the red zone. I mean, it's the last time. That's the last thing you think they're going to do. But I think you had a good point there. After the catch,
it's after this, right? There's a rollover point where maybe the football makes contact to the turf, but I think it shows Briggs maintaining control of it and possessing it.
What a drive for Southern Miss coming out of half right there.
It would be
after video review, the ruling on the field has been upheld. Touchdown.
Yeah, they're going to say Robert Briggs had that possession. First receiving touchdown for Briggs. He had one rushing last week against Jackson State. 3 of Southern Miss 6 drives tonight have been at least 9 plays. They've resulted in 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Reed Harradine is on for the extra point try. And it's true. 24, 17, 11:20 to play in the third quarter. We'll be back to Hattiesburg with much more. An opening drive of the second half, 9 plays, 70 yards, capped off by that 8-yard touchdown pass from Braylon Braxton. If you're Charles Huff, you couldn't have scripted the better start to the third, Austin Fisher.
Yeah, I mean, come out, establish the, what they want to do on offense, and extend this lead. And you want to get this offense in a chase mode, so they kind of lose that run pass balance that they love to have and force them to throw the football. And I think you can get after them a little bit.
Well, and the unfortunate part, right, for the Mountaineers of what we've learned is A.J. Swann just doesn't appear to be available in this second half. So if they're going to do it, they're going to have to do it with a backup quarterback and come from behind fashion. Reed Harradine, a strong kickoff here. 9 yards deep is where that would be received by App State. So the developing story, Noah Gillett. He's a Mississippi native out of Tupelo, Mississippi, Tupelo High School.
Kind of getting thrown into some tough action right here early on as a true freshman, but kudos to him for putting himself in a position to be the backup, the primary backup as a true freshman. That's not easy to do.
They have an Iowa State transfer in J.J. Cole, who was the number 12 quarterback out of high school by ESPN. But Dow Loggins says, I'm rolling with the youngster. Play action pass. Jamon Tapp gets the sack. No bite on the play action pass to start.
There's that man again. Tapp off the edge, right side of your screen. Just inside move on the tight end. Just too fast and too strong.
He was the highest graded defender off the film against Jackson State at 83.2%. You see why. It's freakish athleticism from a guy that's 6'3", 275. Jakari Lewis, another true freshman, now tailback in. They're going to swing it out to Jakari Lewis. Ian Foster upends him at the 20.
Beautiful tackle right there by Ian Foster, getting off the block in the secondary. Watch him shed. Boom. That's a good play in the open field.
It's a Golden Eagle defense right now playing with a different type swagger they haven't seen here in many moons. And under the waning gibbous moon of the South Mississippi tonight, they are flying around. 3rd and 14. Tap into the face of Noah Gillen. That falls incomplete. He was trying to go to Jaden Barnes, and it's a 3 and out for the App State Mountaineers.
That was a statement defensive possession right there for Southern Miss.
Well, and Austin, you know as well as I do, you certainly way better than I do, for an offense that executed flawlessly out of the halftime locker room. Now you want it back as quick as you can get it, and no quicker than a 3 and out.
Yeah, and you can just, you know, being around the game, when a team has the energy, you can really start to feel them come together and just kind of know they're going to be a good team. And that's kind of what I felt about Southern Miss this year.
Ratliff hit a boomer. Boy, Elijah Metcalf almost did the only thing the Golden Eagles couldn't afford. But he gets back on top of it on the bobbled punt.
And I hope I'm not going with the announcer jinx here, but I feel like, you know, Coach Huff, a lot like a Coach Fedora when I played, just changed the culture and the energy almost overnight.
See Metcalf get on it. It'll be the Golden Eagle offense when we return. .47 here in the third quarter. There's reason to celebrate in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. They believe Charles Huff has flipped the script, was his mantra as he entered in as the head coach of this program. And it's about a culture, it's about a mindset, and it's being on display right now in front of us.
Yeah, he's got to be pleased. Opening conference game, the way they've come out and played, and a lot of work to do. Still 2 quarters, pretty much 2 quarters to go.
5 different ball carriers in the rush game for the Golden Eagles. It's 18 rushes, up over 80 yards on the ground to this point for Southern Miss. 7 different receivers have caught a pass for 177 yards to this point for Braylon Braxton tonight. Matt Jones is in at the moment as the tailback. Tyshawn Chapman is the slot man. They've had some success on a seam route. Braylon Braxton, all kinds of time. This pick is intercepted. That was caught one-handed by DJ Burks. That's a turnover by Braylon Braxton. It's just his second thrown INT of the year. He kind of knows he would love to have this throwback.
Yeah, so gets all the way through his progression. Great protection by the offensive line. 1, 2. You can see there, steps up to throw it to 3. Just fires a little high. Low elbow, kind of strided out. Just overshot his man.
Yeah, he was looking to go to Carl Chester, who doesn't have a reception tonight. The 6'3" senior wide receiver transfer from Marshall. So the turnover. And App State also again making a change now at quarterback. Third quarterback, I believe in. Nope, that's still Noah Gillen. So still no J.J. Cole at the moment. It's Rashad Binion with the carry for a yard. For this Golden Eagle defense and Jason Seymour, right now your focus is 7, correct? Turning them one-dimensional.
Yeah, and you've got to continue to get after the quarterback and just make sure he doesn't see anything that he's seen before. And it's a lot.
Look out. Quickly, Jamon Tapp from behind on Noah Gillen. That was an empty set. Dubinion came to the bottom, Austin.
Look at the speed off the football. He won fast.
Caden
I don't care
Sweat.
who's playing quarterback.
Caden Sweat, the left guard. Just a whiff on Mr. Jamon Tapp. Tapp's a freakish athlete, signed to Texas out of high school, transferred to Arizona State. They'll go screen to Jaden Barnes. Barnes gets free, still spinning. It'll be Corey Myrick who makes the tackle for Southern Miss.
That was an extra effort by Barnes. You can see he's fired up. They had him bottled up. This is all him. 1, 2, 3. See ya. That's not a guy you want to see in space if you're a Southern Miss fan.
You'd have trouble tackling Jaden Barnes in a phone booth. 4th and 3. App State's having to go for it. Noah Gillen's looking to throw. Man in his face. And an incompletion. Chris Jones was picking up Barnes, crossing across the back of the secondary. Timeout on the field at M.M. Roberts Stadium. The Rockets rocking in Hattiesburg. Molman got to be pleased with the way his team's flying around. App State, by the way, they got their first 2 fourth-down conversions of the season in game 1 in that big win over Charlotte, but they're 0 for 3. They were 0 for 2 last weekend against Lindenwood. 0 for 1 on that fourth-down try a moment ago, and Braylon Braxton goes back to work with his offensive unit. It is Jeffrey Pittman getting a carry, his 5th of the night, over 30 yards rushing now for the Golden Eagle, who was the #1 running back in junior college coming out of Hines Community College, a transfer from Mississippi State.
You know, and you look at a kid like Jeffrey Pittman, that's kind of the new norm. Junior college, Division I, maybe even a transfer, 3 different schools, and then really starting to shine at the Division I level.
They slip Caden Morris out. He'll make the catch, but it's for a loss on the play. That was wonderfully defended by Colton Ferris.
Yeah, just trying to get the tight end to the flat, but Ferris, good speed to the sideline. Southern Miss going fast.
Trips into the boundary to the top of the formation. They have one-on-one coverage here at the bottom with Micah Davis.
Yeah, a lot of grass down to the bottom of your screen.
Play action pass, that's where they're going. They're going to try it. Miscommunication. Micah Davis had shut the route down. You can see where Braylon Braxton was intending it to go. And a 3-and-out for the Golden Eagle offense.
Yeah, you can kind of tell they were trying to set up a single down here to the bottom of the screen with all that space, but miscommunication. Probably a press bail. Route converts versus press, but stays on versus off, but he press bailed. Braxton's thinking deep, and Micah Davis thinking short.
The punter from down under has a kick that's going to go out of bounds right at the 30. That was the first 3-and-out for the Golden Eagle offense since their first possession of this ball game. Kind of tells you what kind of rhythm they've been in. And of course, the story for the Mountaineers at the moment, no A.J. Swan. We actually saw A.J. come out of the halftime locker room, no helmet in hand. Bit of a limp to his stride as he went to the team box. And so it has been Noah Gillen, who was the 7A state champ at Tupelo High School. They won that state championship right here inside this facility, as he gives a handoff to Rashad DeBinion, that's his 19th carry of the night for App State.
Yeah, only a 2.9 average, 19 for 56, so really good by the Southern Miss defense, keying on him, and I think that's the plan now. You stop him, you stop this offense.
Play action pass, Gillen under pressure, chased down from behind. That was Jaden McKinney who wrestled him to the turf. Jaden McKinney's a face that's growing on this Golden Eagle fan base. He's a transfer from Austin Peay.
Yeah, new faces all over the place, right?
65 of them on this roster. There's A.J. Swan back behind Dow Loggins. Does not look like he will return. 3rd and long. Noah Gillen sprinting out to his right, being chased. Going to try to get to the first down marker. Did he beat Chris Jones to it?
I believe so.
I think he did.
Good job using his wheels, remaining a passer. Right at it. First down.
I got to tell you, that was a heads-up job, too, by Chris Jones not to go for that vicious type hit on that sideline. Here's Rashad DeBinion. The most space he's had tonight. His longest rush prior to that carry was 11 yards.
Gain to the Golden Eagle 42. For an App State first down.
He's well on his way to 25 plus, maybe 30 carries tonight.
There's literally 6 carries
Southern Miss
by the Mountaineers tonight
30 seconds.
that were not carried by Rashad DeBinion. The App State last 6 possessions, they've had 3 punts, 2 picks, 1 turnover on downs. That's really since A.J. Swan kind of left this ball game, Austin.
Yeah, that was a big moment in this football game, him going down. Despite the interceptions, he's still the guy you want on the field if you're App State. Okay, you know he's going to bounce back, and it just put him in a tough spot right here with a young quarterback on the field.
I mean, it was a team who walked into here 8 for 8 in red zone possessions, and I think the INTs tonight maybe even more magnified because they've happened in the red zone.
Where they happen, no question. And then one gets returned for a touchdown.
See what he did. I mean, he was 15 of 23, 217, but of course the stat at the bottom, that's the one that truly can matter at oftentimes in these football games. You remember your first action? What was it, Louisiana? Was the first start for you here?
Louisiana, back in the ULL days.
That's right.
When they were called that.
Throwback. This is to Isaiah Cummings. Chris Jones wraps him up. It's a nice play design, a little. You can tell they like boot action with Noah Gillen. They like to move him one way or the other, not letting him just stand tall in the pocket.
And that helps him, as a young player. Again, a lot of difference in my first action, redshirt freshman. A lot of difference in a redshirt freshman and a true freshman.
And you've
the
said
entire
that.
off season to get ready. Yeah. So
you've told me the redshirt year taught you everything about what it means to be prepared to enter a college football game.
Yeah, and just what the expectations were, and a year in the weight room.
Prior to the ball being set, timeout
things.
for a Ninja player, the defense.
There's a Golden Eagle down at the moment. The training staff out to check on him. Let's think about, so you're Noah Gillen, right? You're trying to learn things as a true freshman. This is only the 3rd game of the season, and here you are, right? Kind of thrust into this ball game. You have to hope that he's prepared himself. So far, so good, I would say.
Well,
correct?
he's prepared. It's just your first time at this level, it's like a sea of black. It's like there's 25 guys over there. They're all over the place. It's just, it takes time to slow the game down. It takes time to slow your heart rate down and breathe and kind of, you hear it all the time, slow the game down. Well, man, when it starts going fast at quarterback, you're in trouble.
Take me through the first time, too, when maybe you recognized the coverage or thought you recognized it in a pre-snap sense, and then at the snap of it, right, the whole scheme changes, correct?
Yeah, it's just like, well, they didn't do that in high school.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, it's just like, it's a totally different ball game.
Rashad DeBinion, boy, Jamon Tapp, look at the pressure caused by the defensive end. He met DeBinion a couple of yards behind the line of scrimmage. It's a 4th and short. App State's in a situation where they really need to think about going for this. They've already gone for 1 4th down. So it's 4th and 1. They had DeBinion at QB, and he'll have the first down. The Wildcat formation for the Mountaineers.
Worked beautifully.
Sure did.
A little inside zone follow. Jab and go, lead blocker, and heavy running.
You can see why they absolutely love him. A physical finisher to his runs. Trips to the field side, ball on the near hash. A 3-step drop. Trying to go to Dalton Stroman. Well, you can really see Towel Loggins getting the ball out of Gillen's hands and into the playmakers for this offense. DeBinion touching it a lot. Here he's trying to hit his biggest target.
Yeah, and your best friend as a young quarterback is just a one-on-one, go ball to the outside, something you've done before. There's not a whole lot of reading involved. It's about throwing an accurate ball, which he did, just didn't haul it in.
It's a great effort from Dalton Stroman. Nearly came down with it. He's located on the bottom of the formation once more. Gillen winds up, throws this. Was that intercepted? No. Ian Foster with another PBU.
Playmaker.
It's what you want out of your nickel, right?
Just a playmaker. He covers a lot of space when he knows what's going on. Once he dissects the play, almost without an interception there.
It is 3rd and 10 for App State. Dupa Coleman, true freshman across the formation.
Southern Miss, second charge, 30 seconds.
Second timeout taken of the second half. They have done this quite a bit tonight. This, to me, has spoken to what Dowell Loggins' offensive scheme has brought to college football, because it's straight out, as we've mentioned, the NFL variety. So much shifting, so much motion, so much kind of mix behind that line of scrimmage to get your eyes undisciplined. And so Jason Seymour and company, I believe this is the 5th time tonight they've huddled as a defense on a big down situation to talk through it. Correct?
Yeah, I think that's just good job on the Southern Miss side, knowing that that's what they're up against, right? He knows a lot of football, Dowell Loggins. He knows how to attack defenses and can cause some problems. But without a starting quarterback, kind of getting down a couple scores, Southern Miss has this team where they want them.
Gillen's 3 for 10 for 24 yards in his collegiate debut. That's Jason Seymour. See what he dials up. You mentioned at the start of this second half, show him something that he didn't see while playing QB at Tupelo High School. Trips to the field side. Gillen will stand tall, now flush from the pocket. Broderius Lewis will chase him out. Gillen hits a knee around the 19-yard line. He will be shy of the first down, needs to gain down to the 13.
Good job left side of the line of scrimmage, collapses, and a really headsy play by Gillen. Get outside the pocket, smart decision, huge, picking up a few yards. It looks like App State's going to try for the field goal to cut this one to 14.
Dominic De Freitas on for a field goal attempt. He's 4 for 4 on the season. Good snap, good hold. Did he sneak it inside the upright? He didn't. There is a penalty flag on the field. De Freitas is a great story. He was rated one of the top 9.
Multiple fouls on the play, both by the defense. Offside, defense number 1. That penalty's declined. Personal foul, roughing the kicker, defense number 1. The penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal line. Down.
Automatic first down, personal foul. What a huge play. A letdown for this Southern Miss special teams.
Josh Moten was laying out for the block.
That looks like it snuck in. I think that field goal was good.
Freitas hit the turf as Moten went diving in for the block attempt, but De Freitas was a highly touted kicker, recruited heavily by the Ohio State, Alabamas of the world, then wound up not getting a firm offer. They went and watched him kick an 18-degree temperature and watched him kick a 58-yarder, and App State was convinced. Off the mistake by the Golden Eagles, Jakari Lewis is in. So they turn a missed field goal into 6 points to the Mountaineers. An extra point try from a 10-point margin.
Yeah, huge momentum change there with the penalty. Southern Miss gets a stop, forces a field goal, personal foul, automatic first down. One play later, bang. App State hanging in there.
Freitas is on for the extra point try. That one looked like maybe contact at the line of scrimmage, but it gets through. 24-14, 106 left to play in the third quarter. So now a couple of empty offensive possessions for Southern Miss has now a defensive mistake, and all of a sudden App State back into this ball game at 24-14.
Yeah, and that's how you settle your freshman quarterback in, right? You get in the end zone, kind of gets a little confidence, and this team's not going away quietly.
This may be the most important offensive drive of this football game and arguably the season to this point for the Southern Miss Golden Eagles. You agree?
Yeah, it's hard to say no. Up 10, kind of getting late in this ball game. Certainly can't go 3 and out and turn it right back over to App State as they've got a little momentum. And this was always my one. If I had to have a complaint about the offensive system that we ran, was when you needed to slow down.
Number 13 for Southern Miss is reporting as number 69. Number 13 reporting as number 69.
When you needed to slow down and maybe just control the clock, it wasn't really what we did. So it kind of threw us off because we were so used to just going fast that it became a part of our offense that we kind of struggled with.
So an onside kick by the Mountaineers. Some trickeration executed perfectly from their freshman kicker in Dominic DeFreitas. Boy, you could see him approach the football as if he would kick it deep, but then hit it on the top of the football in the dribble onside.
Beautiful call, great execution. Right into the hands of App State. Let's go, we got a ball game. I love that call.
That was the free safety, Elijah McCantos, who recovered the onside kick. It was in my mind, would it be time for it? But with as much time left in a 10-point game, I myself was thinking they'll kick it deep, be happy with a 10-point margin through 3 quarters, but not Dowell Loggins rolling the dice.
Beautiful call.
And here we go. Noah Gillen back to work, the true freshman. Reads, fires, and it's caught by Dalton Stroman.
RPO, slant flat. Let's take a look at that onside kick. So they're kicking the football deep. So you can see the Southern Miss return front line. They're already getting back to set up the return. So that was a total surprise onside, worked to perfection. Huge game-changing play on special teams.
What a job of execution by Dominic DeFreitas as well. It's motion in the backfield. They're going to complete it to Jaden Barnes. Now all of a sudden you see what they like in Noah Gillen. He's all of a sudden kind of dinking and dunking it, finding his open man and making the right read.
He got to this point because he's a good football player. So as he gets more comfortable being on the field, you're going to start to see what he can do.
First time to complete consecutive passes for Noah Gillen in this ball game. 1st and 10, ball at the 36. See if he'll run another play here before the end of the 3rd quarter. I do not believe he will. App State.
This is the end of the 3rd quarter.
Has turned a Southern Miss mistake into a bit of momentum. 24-14. We got a good one brewing in the Berg. We'll be back with the 4th quarter. There's a little different feel to the start of this fourth quarter than maybe what you thought back early in the third. The Golden Eagles got a touchdown on a 9-play drive to open the second half, but a pick and a punt for the Golden Eagle offense, a mistake as well to allow App State a second chance off a missed field goal. They capitalize, and here they are with the football back to start this fourth quarter, utilizing their backup, a true freshman in Noah Gillen tonight.
Yeah, Gillen's starting to get comfortable, doing a nice job. You know, the turnover interception by Southern Miss was the turning point in the second half. No question.
Pressure in the face of Noah Gillen. Mama, there goes that man, Jamon Tapp, right into the face of the freshman QB.
You can see Jamon Tapp right side of your screen. Just a nightmare to block in pass protection. May have gotten away with a face mask there as he came down with that left arm, but man, a shifty, long-bodied defensive end.
Yeah, 6'3", 275 out of Donaldsonville, Louisiana.
He may not be done just playing on Saturdays.
Gillen completes over the middle. Isaiah Cummings has been a target tonight in this ball game. That is his 6th reception over 60 yards.
Yeah, again, sign of an NFL offense. Want to throw the football to the tight end.
Fifth-year senior out of Louisville, Kentucky. This is a huge momentum third down for both of these clubs. 3rd and 5. Pressure in the face of Noah Gillen. It was deflected at the line of scrimmage.
Man-to-man coverage. Southern Miss brings pressure. Felt like they could match up in the secondary. Not bad protection, but looks like Verdarius Lewis got in late. Bats that ball down at the line of scrimmage.
Second PBU of the season for Brodarius Lewis. A 48-yard attempt for the true freshman, Dominic DeFreitas. Good snap. The kick is on its way, curving towards the left upright and wide of it. Golden Eagles dodge a bullet. They'll get the football back as you're watching Sun Belt Conference football on ESPN. M.M. Roberts Stadium on a Saturday night with a moon at about 58% illumination. Don't take my word for it. That was released out of the media relations department this week.
How do you know that?
Uber talented Maxwell Greeno. Read your emails.
I don't. I get emails from work. Just too many. I'm not an email guy.
I'm a big reader, big fan. 1st and 10, Braylon Braxton. Design QB run. I thought this Golden Eagle offense might utilize the feet of Mr. Braxton. It's kind of that character trait of him that doesn't get talked about maybe as much as what it should, right?
Yeah, in between the tackles. That's the big thing. You don't see a lot of quarterbacks running, inside. If they do escape, they're running away from the big bodies.
So the Golden Eagles, with a 2-possession game, we've talked about, sort of took that foot maybe off the throttle just a touch out of that halftime locker room after they put together the 9-play scoring drive. Now it's time to put the foot on the gas again, and here's Braylon Brown hauling a nice slant pattern in.
Yeah, really good catch. That ball's behind him on a slant route.
Personal
no harder
foul.
catch.
Roughing the passer. Defense, number 97. 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
No harder catch on a slant route to reach behind you and make this play. As you'll see, the personal foul there. It's just late and unnecessary.
So that's kind of a rare mistake from a former team captain in Kevin Abrams-Verwain. 5th-year senior aids in this Golden Eagle drive as Braylon Braxton setting his protection. Ferris was showing pressure. There was movement early. Colton Ferris, you can see walk up, kind of got in the A-gap.
Offense, number 67. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, this is something that Southern Miss offensively has got to get fixed. They want to get up to the line of scrimmage, snap, take a look, let Coach Anderson from the booth see the defense and then look back and change the play, but they've had too many false starts, sloppy, and they've tried to do that. So something they got to get fixed if they want to take advantage of his experience from up top.
Hard snap count from Braylon Braxton. Swing pass out to Jeffrey Pittman. Made the first man miss. Got 6 of that 5-yard penalty back. Down to the 35-yard line. That was Pittman's 4th reception of the evening.
Good dump off there to Pittman. Get back into a 2nd and 9, getting kind of in that manageable range after the penalty. Man-to-man, App State.
One single high safety, they'll go to the tunnel screen. Good play call. Tyshawn Chapman carrying a Mountaineer inside the 10.
Timeout for an injured player of the defense.
This has been a wide receiver screen clinic tonight. Just quick. Watch how fast Braxton gets it out. Bang, offensive line's going inside the kick-out block. And it's hold your hat scary when you get a receiver on the 2nd level like that. And that's an easy, short completion for the quarterback. Wide receivers love them. They get a catch. It's a great way to get guys involved. Thought that one was going to score.
Mountaineers have a man down, and it's not who they want to see. That's 15, Thomas Davis, who last week against Lindenwood had 7 tackles, a sack, 3 tackles for losses, and a quarterback hurry to go with it. He's also one of the few Mountaineers that have left on this roster that played in the 2023 ball game against the Southern Miss Golden Eagles. He had 3 tackles in that ball game back in Boone, North Carolina. On that Saturday afternoon, that was a monster game from Frank Gore Jr. as well. Near 250 yards rushing from the former Golden Eagle on that Saturday afternoon, but a come-from-behind victory for the Mountaineers on top of the mountain on that Saturday.
Let's take a look at the injury here. Right side of your screen. Oh, looks like a knee gave out.
It just kind of goes down versus Hayes Creel. Well, that's not what you want to see. If you're the Mountaineers, he has been an absolute force on that defensive line for App State.
Whitney Bank red zone.
Brown will adjust inside the numbers. Tyshun Chapman's across the formation. Toss play out to Jeffrey Pittman. Trying to get outside and does. Is he in? He is. Touchdown run number 2 on the night for Jeffrey Pittman. And the Golden Eagles get the response they needed on a very important drive in this ball game.
Yeah, they answer here. Just a toss sweep to the edge. App State's got bodies. Pittman just too much speed. Outruns him to the pylon, just a track meet, and he wins it.
Kyron Heath might have got away with a hold, but sometimes
Shoulders kind of turn there. I was looking. Usually when the shoulders turn, the flag is coming next, but
sometimes they don't make that call, and Mr. Heath got away with it. Mr. Pittman knew what to do with it. We'll be back with much more Saturday night at the Rock. The Pride of Mississippi doing their part inside of MM Roberts Stadium here tonight in Hattiesburg. This is a program looking for their first FBS win in 674 days. They last beat Louisiana here on November the 9th of 2023 for this football program. That's what they're trying to do at the moment for Southern Miss.
yeah, that's a long time. They just, again, I know I've been very complimentary of Coach Huff, but I feel like when you see it, and you know it. And he's done a phenomenal job, has a wonderful background, comes from a great coaching tree with Nick Saban, and then just the energy, his personality, who he is as an individual, has brought a lot to this program.
I actually asked him in our Friday conversation about that moment in time of becoming onto the staff as the running backs coach at Alabama underneath Nick Saban. Called it maybe the turning point of his life to be able to learn. He said it was never a situation where I sat down with Nick Saban and said, tell me all you know about being a head coach.
No.
But he said it was about going to work every day.
You get to watch. You get
and
to live
absorbing.
it. Yeah, you get to be in it. It was like when I was around Pete Carroll. It was like I never had to go sit in his office and talk to him about it. I got to see it every day. I got to see how he responded to losses and his energy. It was just, it was different. It was incredible. And this guy's a lot like that.
Noah Gillen is back out, a guy who played his high school football in Mississippi for the Golden Wave of Tupelo High School. Just had a drop. That was Dupa Coleman.
Rolling on the field is an incomplete pass.
Could not hang on. Coleman was in space.
Nice play action. See Ian Foster coming off the slot, can't get in the throwing window, but Coleman just can't haul it in.
Gillen comes highly touted. He threw for 5,459 passing yards, 59 touchdowns, with a 62% completion rate across his 3 varsity seasons. But he's going down. He has been harassed by the defensive front. Isaiah Gibson Sr. kind of flushed him from the pocket and then cleaning it up for the Golden Eagles was Joseph Harper, the 2 linebacker.
Yeah, that's really been the difference. Just the pass rush from Southern Miss. You can see there just a retrace by Hawkins. Gibson Sr. at the point of attack. Tap's been a problem. They've been the difference for Southern Miss defense. This D-line.
Should be noted as well, this offensive line without Tyreek Poindexter, who is projected to be their starting right tackle. Gillen affected again on the throw. The defensive line truly becoming a
There is no foul for intentional grounding. The quarterback started the throwing motion prior to being hit. It's 4th down.
I go back to the debut half for this football team against Mississippi State. I thought their defensive line matched every bit of intensity and execution that we saw from Mississippi State's offensive and defensive line in that opening half of game 1.
Yeah, when you're a Southern Miss going against an SEC opponent, that's the first thing you look at. Can we hold up on the offensive line, offense and defensive line, and Southern Miss was able to do that at least for a half.
Ian Ratliff punts it away. Elijah Metcalf back underneath it. He'll make the catch. App State's won for their last 9 on 3rd downs. Golden Eagle offense on the turf when we come back. You're looking at history. This is the first availability report in the history of the Sun Belt Conference. They voted in the offseason that injury reports and availability would be made public. They are due by a certain time within the approaching week. So you'll get your update on A.J. Swan at some point this week. This was this week's into this ball game's injury report. I point to you, Tyreek Poindexter. That was the right tackle for the Mountaineers, who's not been made available yet this season.
And it's really a part of the game that we maybe don't talk about enough. I mean, when you get a couple key guys out on both sides of the ball, it changes what you can do, especially if you don't feel like you have the depth that you want.
Well, I think it's ever more important in today's climate of college football where everything is new. Tackle for loss for this Mountaineer defense, because continuity, chemistry, sometimes is an underrated principle of good football teams. You take a piece out, you take an A.J. Swan out of this Mountaineer offense, and all of a sudden everything's new.
Well, and it's not like these guys have been playing together for 2 or 3 years. It's transfer portal culture. So they've been together for a spring,
about
maybe
9 months, maybe.
Yeah. Some of them probably showed up in August. So it's a lot to get organized in a short amount of time.
Braylon Braxton's taking a shot, and a good one too. He drew a man into the neutral zone. Seam route once more to Tyshawn Chapman, who has his 4th reception of the night.
Offside. Defense, number 33. The penalties decline. Results of first day. Correction, number 93.
Take a look here. Braxton gets him off sides. Love this. Now you take a shot. I mean, you know you got a free play. If you know that you're right and you got him off sides, man, we're going deep. This is something new the Southern Miss offense has done this year that I haven't seen.
He's gone to this well of the seam route as well several times, and I can think of 4 completions for Braylon Braxton. All have been on time.
Well, if the receivers are tied into that call, when you see them jump, you convert your route. We're going deep. We're going 4 verts. We're going seams. The route totally changes and goes to a free play mentality. Here it is again.
Free play. Micah Davis. No need for the hanky. That's a 6. 4-6. Consecutive weeks of touchdown receptions from Micah Davis.
Number 99. The penalty will be declined. Touchdown.
Just good football. That's all it is. It's just good football. You get them off sides. Bang, right there, free play. It doesn't matter what's called. The offensive line knows the protection that we're going to. They change on the spot. The receivers know we're going deep. Not easy to get done, but when you get good at it, it's dangerous.
Braylon Braxton put it where only Micah Davis could get to it. Reed Haradine's extra point is up and true. So what was a 10-point margin to start this 4th quarter, a response from the Golden Eagles of 14 points to begin the 4th quarter and take back control of this football game. Another sign of a healthy football team.
Yeah, just you can see this thing open up down the field, and still got to make the throw. It may be a free play, but you can see the talent of Braylon Braxton throwing that football. Micah Davis in the corner of the end zone.
You talk about the arm talent is one thing, but Austin, the decision making for Braylon Braxton, the ability to draw him off sides through the clap, not once but twice on that drive, and then the mental fortitude to understand, okay, in that situation, here's what I'm doing, and it resulted in 2 big plays and points.
You can see he looked left first, so he had the awareness to, take this now. And I mean, think about that. The entire play just changed that quick. As soon as that defensive lineman jumped off sides, the whole play changed, okay? So by the time he gets the snap, his whole mindset has changed. He looks left, doesn't like it, knows what Micah's doing on the right side, comes right back to him, and then does what? Delivers an absolute dime for a touchdown.
Reed Haradine sends one 3 yards deep. It's coming out for the first time tonight on the return for App State. That was Kamani Alexander choosing to take it out. And he gets it out near the 25-yard line. So 9:22 left in this ball game. Just a single timeout in the pocket of Southern Miss. Still all 3 here in this second half for App State. What have been your thoughts? So Noah Gillens, 6 of 16, 54 yards, hasn't thrown a touchdown, hasn't thrown an INT, had a couple of rushes with his feet. He has been harassed in his face.
Yeah, that's the story. You really, I'm going to defend a quarterback.
Yeah, get it.
You know
Absolutely.
I'm going to defend a
you to.
quarterback. But if the D-line is getting after you, there's not a lot you can do. It's just that simple. I mean, the guys in the NFL on D-line get paid more now than they ever have before. Micah Parsons, I mean, everybody knows what's going on with that deal. It's such a game changer. I mean, it's such a game changer.
And you believe Mr. Tapp, who's not in at the moment, he's one of those kind of guys, isn't he? And here they are collapsing the pocket.
Him. And you feel kind of hopeless, to be honest with you, when you're getting that kind of pressure. It's like maybe a receiver screen, call a run,
Official timeout for an injured player in the defense.
Jaden McKinney is down, but this isn't what you want to see. He has been impactful for the Golden Eagles from his defensive tackle position. The 6'3", 300-pound junior out of Colliersville, Tennessee, transferred from Austin Peay, where he actually played for a former interim head coach of the Golden Eagles, Scotty Walden. He's now the head coach out of University of Texas, El Paso, better well known as UTEP.
I mean, just look at this pass rush. Look at the line of scrimmage moving back into the quarterback's face.
Well, Charles Huff told me yesterday that he spent his first week here evaluating tape, but while recruiting, and in that first week, he said, we must get bigger and stronger on both lines. Oddly enough, in the same conversation with Dowell Loggins, he told me he spent his first 3 weeks hanging up on every agent, every representative, every recruiting service that was calling to talk about running backs and wide receivers. He said, I'm in a big man search for the Mountaineers to get bigger up front on both sides of the ball.
That's what you have to do. You have to have the players. You have to, when you take over a program, chances are the players aren't there. So you've got to figure out how to fill that roster out. Great
False start.
story.
Offense, number 67. 5-yard penalty, second down.
So Southern Miss was transferring from, or transitioning, I should say, from a 3-4 to a 4-down look from last year to this year. So I'm at practice talking to Coach Huff, and you know, he's kind enough to let us ask a few questions. I said, well, what are you thinking about some of these outside linebackers? They're going to transition to defensive ends. And he said, well, most of them are going to transition to a different team because they can't play here.
That's right.
I mean, that's how serious he was.
And he was not kidding. Short throw from Noah Gillen that falls incomplete. Best defensive lineman that ever harassed you in your time in the league. Who gave you nightmares? Anybody
so many. Well, one was Aaron Donald, who was on my team. Thank goodness.
Geez, yeah.
Thank goodness. But there's just, at that level, they all got one. They all got one or two that you got to account for.
They have been a story tonight. Third and 22. Noah Gillen's going to drop it off. Chris Lawson Jr. has it up across the 40-yard line. It's actually going to set up what could be a manageable fourth down.
Yeah, just a busted coverage in the secondary. Southern Miss wants to bring pressure, but no one in coverage. Ian Foster able to run it down. You can see his speed.
It's a night of 4 sacks, 6 tackles for losses for this Golden Eagle defense. Crowd that has left here at M.M. Roberts Stadium making some noise on a 4th down and 4. Noah Gillen gets an easy pass completion to Jaden Barnes. Look out. You had a feeling that's where it was headed to. Dalton Stroman or Jaden Barnes, and they check it down to Barnes.
Yeah, good little 5 and out. Southern Miss, again, trying to bring pressure. And good job knowing where his outlet is, his quickest throw. Best way to beat the pressure is not to block it, is to get rid of that football. Got to know where your short throws are.
Five-step drop. Flush from the pocket. Got a flag on the field. That's a strong throw from Noah Gillen.
Really good throw.
That was to Chris Lawson Jr. We had a flag in the backfield and then a flag along this sideline.
Looks like possibly both fouls on the offense.
I believe Chris Lawson Jr. left the field of play. We're fixing to get the explanation from Tim Barker.
Multiple fouls on the play, both by the offense. Illegal touching by an originally eligible receiver who went out of bounds on his own. That penalty will be declined. Holding, offense number 55. The 10-yard penalty will be enforced. First down.
It's holding on the left guard, Shamar Jackson.
An opposing team penalty brought to you by the catering experts at Dickey's Barbecue.
Yeah, you can see hooked in there.
Barbecue.
Let's give a little credit to the officials tonight. All we ever do is complain about bad calls and they get harassed by fans. They've done a really good job tonight.
They have.
Calls have been on point. You know, they're always going to miss a few here and there depending on who you're rooting for. But reviews have been precise and clean, and they've managed the game well.
Dillon checks it down. Isaiah Cummings. Isaiah Cummings has been an impressive target for the Mountaineers. He entered with 9 receptions for 90 yards on the season. Tonight, it's his 7th reception. He's up around the 90-yard mark already in this ball game.
I could see him being a top 10 tight end in the country this year as far as receiving yards go. Just the way they use him, this offense, the way it's built.
6'4", 242. He's a nice target. That's got to be a comfort. I've never thrown a pass in my life in a game of football of any kind of significance. But the tight end is kind of that comfort zone for a quarterback at times, correct?
Well, if you're bigger than the guy trying to cover you, you're always open. So you can just kind of block them out. You know, you don't always have to run away from them.
It is 3rd and long once more. They just had a 3rd and 22. It's 3rd and 14. Dupa Coleman has the reception. Ian Foster, who has been all over the place tonight. The nickelback transfer out of Marshall. He was lightly recruited, showed up at a camp at Marshall. Charles Huff told me he was the best athlete in the camp, and it wasn't close. At 5'10", 190 pounds, and a scholarship offer was given to him that day.
That's the other thing. You've got to be able to identify talent when you see it. You know, if you just go out and recruit on stars or what they're supposed to be, there's that man again.
Yeah, Ian Foster. Face-up coverage to Dupa Coleman. Noah Gillen taking a shot on the 4th and 9. This Golden Eagle defense gets off the field once more.
That's another advantage. Coach Charles Huff goes to Alabama. Well, what else does he get to be around?
Talent.
Dudes.
Yeah.
He gets to see what they look like, right? That helps you in your evaluation process. Now when you're going out looking for each position, you've got a prototype that you're looking for. You've been on the best team in the country for X amount of years.
Well, tell me if this makes sense. He's coached 2 running backs. They seem good to me. Saquon Barkley, Najee Harris, those are pretty good. Pretty good. They seem good, yeah.
Probably recruits running backs that look like them.
Yeah, that helps. It helps. It really does help. Landry Liddy, the backup quarterback for the Golden Eagles, is into this ball game. It's a pull by Landry Liddy. He was playing for Trent Dilfer a year ago at UAB. By the way, the 38 points that was scored for Southern Miss last week against Jackson State was the most points since the 38 they put up against App State back in 2023. And it also ties back to this. The 38 points tonight in back-to-back games prior to the season hadn't scored 38 since these 2 teams last met in 2023 in Boone in back-to-back ball games for the Golden Eagles then as well. Adrian Liddy leaves it with Matt Jones.
Matt Jones with the carry.
The Golden Eagles up around 100 yards rushing. They're at 376 yards of total offense tonight. There you see what they've done as well on third down. Boy, that tells you a story. 14-30 this season. Last season through games 1 through 6, they had just 11 conversions. Tonight on third down, they're 4 of 8. They had 4 games last season where they had just 1 third down conversion in each ball game. Really tells you about the change,
tells
right?
The story, doesn't it? Yeah.
I would say the script has been flipped. And Charles Huff still coaching with the intensity at the start. Here with 4:17 left. The oldest player in FBS, Jack Murley, it's been a kind of rough night punting, just 34 yards punting. This isn't going to help it either. This one goes short and out of play.
They came after that one, trying to create a punt block.
He had been really good, averaging right at 40 yards a punt coming into tonight. They officially mark it out of bounds at the 30-yard line. So it was a night that saw App State really begin a march on a beautiful opening drive that ended with an INT in the red zone. And then a couple more picks later, A.J. Swan was injured on an INT return after throwing a pick down in the end zone. And it's been a true freshman Noah Gillen since, but now a feel-good moment. Billy Wiles, who spent many practice hours inside M.M. Roberts, is getting an opportunity. He'll leave it with Rashad DeBinion. DeBinion ridden down. Another Golden Eagle defensive lineman. That was Eric Thomas Jr. who got the stop.
DeBinion with 23rd or 24th carry of the night.
87 yards prior to that carry. Jakari Lewis to the right of Billy Wiles. Billy will scramble a bit here. Get up to midfield for App State.
Yeah, it's a ball game where App State is out rushed and, well, not outrushed, but outgained the Southern Miss football team in yards. And just look across the board at the stats. It's just the turnover margin.
That's been.
You hate to simplify it to that, but that's really what it was.
And that's what Southern Miss has been to this point. The best in this league and not giving it away and taking it away from their opponents. Timeout is called here by Southern Miss.
Southern Miss, this is the third and final timeout.
Well, you kind of have watched tonight in the way that Charles Huff has managed this game with his defensive unit. And I can't recall a timeout where it was not involving this Golden Eagle defense. As you look at what the tackles tied out, Mike Montgomery, that's cool, 13, but he had 14 and a half that we told you about earlier.
Do better.
Yeah, for sure. Chris Jones, Ian Foster, that three trio, if you will, it's going to produce some good football for the Black and Gold.
Yeah, those are the guys they're counting on. I think we've talked a lot about the interceptions that Southern Miss defense has had. Well, the defensive line, the push, that's a part of it.
Yeah, it sure is. This will tell it to you as well. The Southern Miss defense has 4 sacks tonight. They had 4 in their first 2 ball games. So at intensity level, it's kind of what conference play will do for you, right? Sort of turn the energy and intensity level up a notch. Billy Wiles, senior from Ashburn, Virginia. Former Clemson Tiger, transferred here in the Will Hall era. Went to App State a year ago. Played behind a guy named Joey Aguilar. Now here behind A.J. Swan and Noah Gillen, getting an opportunity with this Mountaineer offense.
Motion out to empty. Probably expecting Southern Miss to bring a little pressure, and they do.
Backside edge pressure. It is caught over the middle by William Fowles. And it's a veteran QB, played a lot of college football. He can sort of quiet the noise, if you will.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
So the 2-minute timeout has happened in Hattiesburg, Mississippi tonight. 38-14, all Golden Eagles. We'll be back as you're watching Sunbelt Conference football on ESPN. From QB1, B1, Braylon Braxton. What's impressed you the most about him?
Yeah, just 22 of 30, 279, 2 touchdowns. Really only had the one errant throw. Sailed on him a little bit, but man, just consistent. You're going to have bad plays. You got to bounce back. You know, never really wavered. And then we've talked about his versatility. What can he not do? He can throw the deep ball. He can handle the pocket. And he can run in between the tackles, outside. He's a preseason
false start.
Offensive Sunbelt Player of the Year for a reason.
76, 5-yard penalty, first down.
First team.
He bursted onto the scene a year ago against App State on a night that he saw where he threw for over 150 yards against App, but also ran for 140, accounted for 5 touchdowns. And that win for the Herd, they went on to win the Sun Belt Conference Championship. Billy Wiles being taken down once more. Jameer Lewis, that's former teammates.
That's the 5th sack on the night for this Southern Miss defense. Anytime you can go get 5, got a big night.
pressure created by the defensive ends without a lot of blitz-type pressure, correct?
Big.
Check it down to Jafari Lewis.
Going to get flagged for a low hit on the quarterback around the knees.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 16. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's the Tom Brady rule. That 1 year that he was hurt on what was the opening game of the NFL season, I had him as my fantasy quarterback too. I was jinxed all the time.
Yeah, they're just trying to do what they can to protect them. I'm not complaining. I'm a fan. Was a fan.
That's why you're standing, moving great today, right?
Somewhat.
They protected you.
Somewhat great. Getting old.
Billy Wiles slides his protection, drops it off. Jacari Lewis inside the 5.
Good check down. Patient. Uncovered.
So App State threatening to put more points on this board. A total of 52 of them have been scored to this point. Sprint out by Wiles. That's caught by Jaden Barnes on the corner route, sprint out pass. Won't matter in the scheme of things in wins and losses, but it'll matter to a group of folks a lot more. Inside a minute, Mountaineers thinking they'll go for 2.
Pretty ball rolling to his left against his arm.
The 2-point try could put it to a 2-possession game. Wiles trying it to the flats. Jacari Lewis has the 2-point try. It is 38-22 in a 2-possession game, 16-point margin. They'll give Dominic DeFreitas an opportunity for another onside kick. Play that we saw the Mountaineers convert already in this second half on an onside kick by DeFreitas back into third quarter. That had to feel good for Billy Wiles. Come back into a building.
Yeah. I mean, look at App State, 470 yards of total offense.
You can put you and I into the Dowell Loggins believer fan club, correct? I mean, the scheme is there and present.
Yeah, and again, there's some when you're down 2 or 3 scores and the defense is playing soft. There's some hidden yardage there, but all those yards didn't come in this fourth quarter. They have moved the football all night, and a good football team just turned it over too many times.
Cash McVay will handle the kickoff duties here. It's covered up by the Golden Eagles. It'll be all but semantics from here. There is a penalty flag. Mountaineers were offside.
Will the game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 50 seconds. 50 seconds on the game clock. Thank you. Offside. Kicking team number 56. 5-yard penalty from the end of the pitch. First down. Correction, the offside was on number 6.
Cash McVay had that football
Correction,
laying.
the game clock was correct. Please reset it to 51 seconds. 51 seconds.
Cash McVay had that football laying on its belly at the ball. You can see it, no T, but Amir Foster covered that up. Cash was trying to get that one bounce and the pop-up. Cover the onside kick.
I would hate to be that guy waiting on that ball. The whole team's running at you. Never been there. I don't envy them.
They never let you be on kickoff return.
No, not on the front line.
Jalen Carter with a carry. Look at the schedule ahead for App State. They'll go to a place the Golden Eagles once ventured to, Boise, Idaho. Some guy named Kellen Moore, coaching the Saints now, was playing there at that time. The Golden Eagles, a round of applause as Landry Liddy has hit a knee. Dowell Loggins making his way over to shake hands with a man in Charles Huff they once visited. Loggins was coaching at the Tennessee Titans.
This
Charles
is the end
Huff
of the game.
was at Vanderbilt. By the way, the last time the Golden Eagles had 3 INTs, it happened to be in their last FBS home win. That was back on November the 4th, 2023 versus Louisiana Monroe in a score that was 24-7. In case you're curious, that was 674 days ago. Reason to celebrate for the Golden Eagles. More importantly, Austin, they're 1-0 in Sun Belt Conference play to begin.
Yeah, good win for Southern Miss tonight. Just came in, got it done, did what they needed to, created the turnovers. Again, 82%. Win the turnover battle, 82%. No different tonight.
It was a lot of fun, my man. Hopefully we'll see you in a few weeks when the Golden Eagles return back to the Rockets. A road trip to Ruston. Former conference mates and Louisiana Tech and Southern Miss going to tangle.